I bet you're expecting me to make some kind of joke about the Decepticon who is named Soundwave. Well, I couldn't think of one, so the joke is on no one, I guess. Our story opens with some Cobra dudes posing as Middle Easterners, while Cobra Commander gives orders to someone called Wild Weasel. No, seriously.
You may proceed as instructed, Wild Weasel.
We're still pretty early in the series for a name like Wild Weasel. That feels like year 8 of the toy line when all the cool codenames have been used up, which I guess means that somebody at Hasbro or Sunbow thought Wild Weasel was actually a cool name? Wild Weasel leads the jet-bound Joes into a trap as Cobra unleashes Mega Weapon number 558 from Elaborate Secret Base number 421. Said Mega Weapon uses what I can only assume are sound waves to blow apart the Joes' jets and send them parachuting into the desert. And then Cobra goes in for the kill by sending in the Hang Glider Squad. Seriously? This is what you use to finish your enemies off? The guys who didn't get a callback for the Juicy Fruit commercial? I mean, Gung Ho makes one of them crash by throwing some sand at him. On the list of suckiest minions, these guys are either at the top or the bottom, depending on how you're sorting your list. Fortunately, Cobra has a helicopter nearby to actually seal the deal, and the 3 dudes, Gung Ho, Roadblock, and are scooped up in a net. Meanwhile, Cobra Commander and Destro have their, I assume, daily meeting regarding the latest weapon du jour and the Commander's wackadoodle plans for same. This time he's planning to cut off access to a bunch of oil, thus rendering the world one where people no longer have access to their oil. Then we get Destro's requisite warning to not underestimate G.I. Joe, which old Double C shrugs off. Right, everything seems to check out here. Cobra Commander brings his prisoners to some kind of arena to gloat at them, and almost certainly to make them fight for his or someone else's amusement. Then he receives a call and has to leave. Let's back that up for a minute. He receives a call on a phone shaped like a snake. You really gotta admire this guy's commitment to the bit. So yeah, the Joes have to fight a thing. This time it's a giant robot crab. And I hate to say it, but that's not even the 5th coolest thing Cobra has made somebody fight in their arena. Which I guess is why the Commander doesn't even stick around to watch. Anyway, why bother? It's not like they're gonna defeat the thing and escape. Oh look, they defeated the thing and escaped. Back at G.I. Joe HQ, Scarlet is concerned about her captured friends and goes off on an unauthorized mission to rescue them. Which might be an interesting bit of conflict if they hadn't just escaped, like I said. The guys spent a good chunk of the episode MacGyvering their way out of some caves, which I guess is pretty cool, but also not as stupid as a phone shaped like a snake, so it's not really worth talking about for very long. Meanwhile, Flint is fighting Cobra at the oil wells pretty much single-handedly, griping that all his best guys are otherwise occupied, and almost certainly hurting the feelings of this guy in the powder blue jumpsuit. Thankfully, Scarlet and Wild Bill arrive to bring their 3 friends back in their 2-seater helicopter. Okay, I know how this goes. First you take Roadblock and leave the Fox and Grain behind. Then you go back for Gung Ho. Eventually they make their way back to the battle, which is happening with traditional aircraft and the still useless Hang Glider Squad. But not the deadly Soundwave device, which was supposed to be the whole point of this assault. Then Powder Blue Jumpsuit guy, Airborne is his name, has an ESP vision, which I guess is a thing we said he could do before in an earlier episode that I already covered, but that doesn't make it any less stupid. So the Joes who just escaped from Cobra's elaborate series of caves lower themselves right back down into Cobra's elaborate series of caves. This is really starting to feel like an old episode of Doctor Who. Finally, Cobra stops being a wave tease and starts using their super weapon. Except, I'm not entirely convinced that Cobra Commander knows how it actually works.
The Joes are getting away! We need more elevations before they get out of range!
We need more elevations, yeah. That's a thing I read on page 2 of the manual before I got bored and started playing games on my custom-made Cobra phone. What was I playing? Snake, obviously.
Then the Joes defeat Cobra's new weapon with hang gliders. Guys, hang gliders are not cool. Stop trying to make hang gliders a thing.